I should have known.
Of course. I could almost do an All Might laugh. So, of course I'm going to do it. Yeah, hello. We just got back from watching a movie that you might not have expected us to talk about.
Yeah. But it was playing near us, so we figured, why the heck not?
Yes. Daijoubu. It's okay, because we were here to watch the movie.
Yeah.
The My Hero Academia 2 Heroes movie.
Is that what it was actually called? There was never any, title card.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, there was?
Briefly,
okay,
it's like My Hero Academia 2 Heroes.
Okay.
So, yeah, we went and watched the movie. I guess to give a little context, yes, we have been watching the show as it comes out.
Yeah, we're big fans of My Hero Academia.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We watch it in Japanese because we're filthy otakus like that.
We're filthy sub-loyalists.
It's true. I would prefer to listen to the original language with subtitles every single time. Mm-hmm. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
We are up to date with the show, so you can't spoil us in the comments or anything. Don't worry. Would I just right off the bat, if you haven't watched the show, you're probably not going to be interested in this movie.
Yeah, no, this is not. This is only a movie that is for fans of My Hero Academia.
Mm-hmm. Which is...
Although it does do a decent enough job trying to, catch you up on the plot points
super
that you
basic
need to know.
Need to know things.
Yeah.
Which I was honestly thinking, why is this here? Because most people going to see this movie probably know this. This just feels like an extra 5 to 10 minutes of padding that could have been used in any other way.
Yeah, it literally shows the same, 10 clips from the show that the show shows over and over again itself. You know, the
I want to be like him. As he's crying in the chair and his mom
you know the scenes. The scenes they show over and over again. You're like,
the doctor just saying, you should give up on this whole thing.
The scene of All Might, being like, yes, my young protege, you can be a hero, and the sunlight's spilling behind him, and Deku's crying. You know, those scenes.
They showed those in this as well.
Yeah.
And
but we get to experience them in English, because this whole movie was in English.
Yeah, thankfully, that gave us, some transition time to, get used to the new voices with, video that we're used to.
Yeah.
Because, it is a jump.
Yeah.
For some of the characters, the English to Japanese voices.
Yeah, and I'll say, I think the English voices were just fine.
Yeah.
Except for, I do want to say I'm not crazy about Bakugo's voice.
No, that's because Bakugo's Japanese voice actor
is amazing.
Such a good job and makes that character so... Shine! Shine!
There you go.
There we go, yeah.
I love it.
It is much more interesting than die!
Yeah. But that's just because...
We're used to it, probably?
Well, that's because it doesn't have the added whoa factor of being in a different language.
Yeah, that's probably a lot of what it is.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of, character catchphrases sound a lot worse in English, but that, again, might just be because we're used to them saying it in a different language, which is cool and interesting.
Yeah.
Also, everyone pronounces everyone's names incorrectly.
Which was also another, wait, sorry, who are you talking to again?
Oh, you're talking about Midoriya, not Midoriya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
And that just kind of happens throughout the whole movie.
Uh-huh.
And obviously it's the same voice cast that they have for, the English dub anyways, so people are used to that, but we're just so used to the Japanese dub.
Anyway, I think we're getting sidetracked.
That's all that this is going to be, is us just, talking about the differences between the voice actors, which isn't even the movie.
No, we're not. Let's talk about the movie.
Okay.
Right off the bat, just want to say, if you're not a fan of My Hero Academia or you haven't watched it yet, don't go see this movie. This movie's not really for you.
No.
If you get dragged along to go see it, though, it's a fun time. Mm-hmm. And, like, the story's decent enough, and it tries to catch you up if you haven't watched the show, that, like, it would still probably be pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, the universe is fairly easily explained.
Yeah.
There are a few random things thrown in there, like, wait, what are you talking? This doesn't make any sense unless you've experienced the show. And surprising to me is that every single classmate shows up, except for 2, unless I somehow missed them.
Yeah. I mean, they, like, show up in the end credits.
Yeah, they show up in the end credits, but I think that was just, like, a random thing that happened not even in this scenario.
Right.
That was just them somewhere else.
Like, look, it's these characters.
Oh, look, it's Sparkly French Kid, which...
Sparkly Naval Kid.
I don't remember what his name is, and Anna Voice Kid.
Yeah.
But honestly, I already know why Anna Voice Kid wasn't in this movie. Just because, like, they're like, hey, you want to go to this thing? And he just looked at them, like, terrified, waving his arms like, no.
No, thanks.
And that's why he wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
Sparkly Boy probably didn't even pay attention when everyone else was going to this thing. He was too busy looking at himself, being fabulous.
They just didn't invite him.
Probably.
Aww.
They're like, oh yeah, you're in the class. Sorry about that. Apologies.
I like that kid, though.
That being said, Minato was in this movie.
Why do they always force him into every scenario?
And not only was he in the movie, he actually did things in the movie.
You know, like, I would love to hate on Minato all day long, but, like, he was decent in this movie.
He was fine.
He was fine.
He wasn't egregiously perverse.
Yeah. He was
in
like
a gross
way. He was
way.
like the amount of perverse you would expect. And then like not even as much as you would expect.
Yeah,
actually.
It actually felt like he was reined back a bit, and I wonder if that's because they're like, we're doing the TV, like a movie that's supposed to be for a wider audience, maybe. I have no idea. Whatever, he was fine.
Yeah.
Everyone is themselves. I don't know.
This movie has the typical, like, anime movie problems where it just, like, it feels like a really long episode of the show.
Yeah.
But I will also say that, like, the plot that they decide to do could actually be canon. Like, they did a decent enough job making sure to, like, stay within the boundaries of the universe. That, like...
All except for, like, 1 or 2 small things. And, hey, if you're about to type in the comments that, no, this was canon, how can you dare say it wasn't canon? I don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Or nitpick about, like, oh, well, this obviously breaks the world, and da-da-da-da-da. Like, there were things that we noticed, too, that it's like, okay, that doesn't really jive with what's going on in the show, but, okay, whatever. It's
like,
it's a movie.
In this, like, nation that's not a nation or whatever, anyone can use their quirks whenever they want, just because. And, like, that doesn't feel right. Okay.
Yeah, also, like, you know, in the show, there's this whole arc about how the kids can't use their powers, and, like, they're gonna get in serious trouble if they help out the heroes.
Which happened before this movie, like, chronologically. And then, I mean, obviously, after this, they had another scenario where they're like, well, now we have to figure out how to not do what we did before.
Right.
And did do it correctly-ish.
Yeah, and this movie definitely just was like, nah, ignore that.
We're gonna ignore the fact we're gonna have Deku just straight up kill people. I mean, they might be alive.
Yeah.
He did punch a man down a flight of stairs, though.
Yes, he did.
Just non-committal, like, bam! And he's gone.
The guy was shooting, like, a machine gun at him, though.
It's true. All might kill people. You cannot tell me that the 2 random Joe Schmoes in the helicopter survived.
I
guess that's kind of spoilers, but whatever. Do we do spoilers for this, probably?
I think we'll stay fairly spoiler-free, just to
Okay.
keep this short.
Obviously, there's a villain, and, like, it ramps up at the end, and that's where they put their budget and, like, oh, now we're allowed to use CGI and stuff. This is where we're gonna put it.
Yeah.
Like, here,
Oh, and as far as
this
the
is the
animation
final
goes,
villain.
the animation stays mostly on par with, like, what you would see in the show. It's a little, like, just a little better, but not even noticeably so.
Yeah, I would agree.
The action scenes are really nice.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Like, there's an action scene at the beginning with All Might and, Dave Smith, who we haven't, or Dave Shield, who we haven't brought up at all yet, but is...
I will say in general, like, the side characters that they add to this film were cool.
Yeah,
I liked them.
I enjoyed them.
Do I want to see him come back in the show? Nah.
Yeah, Dave Shield is All Might's old friend from America when he studied abroad, and he's a scientist that invents a bunch of stuff. And then there's also Melissa Shield, who is his daughter, who is also aspiring to be a scientist and stuff. Mm-hmm. They're enjoyable. The random...
It's one of those things where it's like, if they came back in the show, I'd be like, oh, cool, it's them. If they don't, I'm not going to be heartbroken.
Yeah, I would agree. The villains exist. They're perfectly serviceable, especially for just like a one-off scenario.
Yeah.
The boss villain seems a bit overpowered.
Well, I mean,
Well, just
obviously so.
Yes, obviously so because of spoiler reasons, but like his just base
Quirk.
quirk is very strong. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, that seems kind of broken. How strong it could be.
That's something I wish the show would tackle, is like people with just absurdly
Egregiously
strong
powerful
quirks. Yeah.
in like terrifying ways.
I mean, they kind of cover that a bit, like, oh gosh, what's his name? Creepy purple-haired kid.
Hypno Kid.
Shinso?
Do not ask me this.
Okay.
I'm bad with names. I can't even remember the names of half the characters in the class.
Right.
But yeah, the Hypno Kid.
Yeah.
Talk to him and he hypnotizes you.
Yeah. He's kind of one of those that they sort of tackle that subject, but even then they...
It's less so about super powerful abilities and more so, oh, that's obviously a villain ability. Why aren't you a villain type of thing? Mm-hmm. More so than like,
Yeah.
it's so powerful, how can you live with yourself or anything?
Yeah.
And it feels like they're doing that more and more with some of the other people that have like powerful quirks that are like kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah.
Like the latest episode, I don't want to talk about it too much, but like the first half of that episode, talking about a specific character is like, oh, okay, that's an in-depth way of dealing with someone that can't necessarily control their powers correctly.
Yeah.
And that was neat. Now,
There's also
we're
several-
talking about the show now.
Yeah, there's also several plot MacGuffins, like, that just get introduced in this one, but, like, they have very specific clauses. It's like, oh, so this is why this can't come back.
Oh, it's like, oh, that's why he doesn't have this later. Because it has a certain number of uses.
Yeah, and guess what? He uses it, like, all
That
the
exact
uses.
amount of times.
Yep. And I will say, too, like, this movie's pretty funny. There's some great scenes with, like, Bakugo, especially.
I mean, he's hilarious no matter when he shows up.
I love Bakugo. Bakugo,
His best boy.
yeah, he speaks directly to my heart.
Don't have time to deal with all these dumb people.
Yeah. I love it.
It's like, why would I want to go to this party where it's probably just a bunch of old people I don't know giving speeches? I'll pass.
I'm like, oh, preach.
Preach it! And then his boyfriend is like, no, but I already picked out suits. And you're like, how dare you?
You ship it so hard.
Am I the only one?
I mean, from what I've seen on Twitter, yes.
Oh.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm just getting the wrong influence, but
I mean,
I see what you're going for.
They're always together. He's just like the hard-hitting kid. I can't remember his name right now.
Kirishima?
Kirishima?
Yeah.
That sounds correct. Kirishima Bakugo. I mean, they go together. Obviously, there's like the hate relationships of like Deku and Bakugo, or Bakugo and Todoroki? Todoroki. But I don't see that one working at all.
Okay, Bakugo and Todoroki would totally be more like a hate relationship, but I think the idea behind Bakugo and Deku is the idea that they're rivals. They're rivals, but that could turn into like something a mutual deeper respect for each other.
Yeah, and I can see that, and I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're talking about ships now. We're not even talking about the movie. I don't know. It's your standard like anime spin-off movie where they go to an area that doesn't exist normally. They fight a villain that doesn't exist normally, and then everything resolves itself, and then you can get back to the plot.
Yeah.
Of the regular show. So
it's fun.
It's fun. It's harmless fun. Nothing long-standing happens.
Yeah, you're not missing anything if you don't see it. But like, if you're a big fan of the show, it's fun, and yeah, go watch it. You know, if it's playing near you. I know that this probably has a fairly limited release over here. So I'm sure though fairly soon it's gonna be like out where you can watch it other places and all that kind of stuff.
It wouldn't surprise, like, I obviously don't know how all of this process works, but it wouldn't surprise me if, like, a year from now, it would be...
Or less.
It would
it's
be
up on Crunchyroll or something.
Crunchyroll and Funimation and possibly out on DVD and stuff like that. Who knows? You can probably find it fairly easily soon if you don't have a theater nearby. That being said, I think theaters, like the main theater that's hosting it is like AMC Theaters, if you have one of those near you.
Yeah.
Obviously, don't drive too far out of your way to get to these, but it was enjoyable enough.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
And we're actually going to be seeing you guys
tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, so we saw this on Tuesday, but by the time this gets uploaded, it's probably Wednesday. At some point, who knows? Because it's late and we got work in the morning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you'll see this when you see it, and it's probably Wednesday, so you'll be seeing another review from us tomorrow, because we're actually going to go see Smallfoot from Sony.
It looks like a Sony film.
I think it's Sony. If it's not Sony, then it's DreamWorks.
It's not DreamWorks.
No, it's definitely not DreamWorks. So I think it's Sony.
It's either Sony or some smaller company.
Either way. Join us back tomorrow, I guess, for... I'm
glad we saw this film because this was fun.
Yes. We're not as excited about this other one, but hey, going off of the track record of the year so far, who knows? Maybe it will blow our minds and be the best movie we've ever seen ever.
It's been so long since we watched anything.
Yeah, but like the last ones we saw was like Teen Titans Go, and then
Incredibles 2?
Incredibles 2, and there was another movie that we weren't terribly excited about, but then it was also pretty alright. I don't remember what it was. Who cares? You could probably look back on the channel and see what it was.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you guys then.
Bye.